Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Aggressively stupid. Aggressively stupid. The writing is putrid. Writing is putrid. Why did they make this fucking movie? Bring It On, Cheer or Die is the 7th in the long-running series of Bring It On movies. Yes, the first one came out in 2000, had Kirsten Dunst, Eliza Dushku, and Gabrielle Union. Actually had fun and life and energy, and then they decided to make sequels to it. A few of which came out, well, a few years after the first one. Honestly, it would have been a bit weird if the sequels had come out before the first one came out. That's not how sequel fucking works. If you are a non-wrestling fan, you have no idea why I said it like that. But yeah, the 7th Bring It On movie. Universal Pictures sunk money into this. This was directed by Karen Lamb, who honestly should go on the lam after making this goddamn putrid slop. Boy, this is going to be fun to talk about. Taking viewer requests sometimes can, really be very, very taxing on what little sanity I have left. But Karen Lamb, who again, go on the lam for God's sakes, or please refuse projects like this. Shorts and indie horror, and was written by 3 people. 3 people wrote a movie called Bring It On, Cheer or Die. When I think you could have probably drugged a few giraffes, they could have painted with their weird tongues and their, and the eucalyptus leaves, they could have taken that out and smeared, I don't know, blood or chimpanzee feces on some napkins and come up with something better than Bring It On, Cheer or Die. Alison Faust, I assume that's how you pronounce it, F-O-U-S. And F-O-U-S-C. God, if only they'd gone full on Mickey Mouse Club with this, it probably would have been a whole lot better. Scary Movie 2 and some of the Bring It On sequels. I guess that kind of makes sense. And 3 people wrote this. I'm all for people getting work, but why do you need 3 people to write Bring It On, Cheer or Die? Rebecca McKendry. All the creatures were stirring, but not even a Faust. Aha! And Dana Schwartz. May the Schwartz be with you? No, definitely not. United States of Detroit. That was a documentary. I recall seeing that, and actually it was pretty informative. This really stars nobody of any note, in all honesty. There is Missy Pyle in it. You may recognize her more by seeing pictures of her than just the name. You've got to be kidding me, Pyle. Look at that gut. Carrie Metters, Alton Wilmot, and a few others are in this. It's really just a bunch of young, late teens, early 20-somethings that play a cheerleading squad that need to get their routine down correctly. They absolutely need to do that. They have a domineering principal played by Missy Pyle. And they go to a once proud high school where a tragic accident happened where a cheerleader fell to her death after a pyramid scheme. Actually, it was a pyramid accident. It's where they get up on each other and do the whole thing. And if any of the women are on their pyramid, then it gets very, very messy. She falls, she breaks her neck, hence the accident. School shut down, new school open. But the principal doesn't want the cheer squad to succeed. There's the Green Knights and the Diablos. That's pretty much the only tie that there is back to the first movie, or any of the movies, or really any semblance of anything coherent. And then we have a movie where a killer is stalking the people that are in this old school because there's something going on, and could it all tie back to 2002? Yeah, that's usually how these things work. Okay, so viewer requests. I will be glad to take viewer requests, especially when it comes to horror movies. I will do what I can to honor viewer requests. I would like to say that everybody that suggested this to me, I'm holding all of you personally responsible. Multiple people wanted me to review this. I have definitely seen worse. This is not the worst movie I've seen this year, but it's also one of the laziest. And what's disappointing is it's advertised as a comedy horror. And it's neither funny enough nor horrifying enough. It's PG-13, so you really can't get all that much blood, but the acting is atrocious, the writing is atrocious, and everybody just seems to be going through the motions. I'm convinced that every single actor, every single cameraman, every single person that was on the production staff sustained several major head injuries before each scene, which amazes me that this movie got past 10 minutes, because how would you be able to do anything when you sustain that many head injuries, that much head trauma? But it might explain the writing. Yeah, this movie isn't any good. There are some funny kills. There's one brief moment where the movie comes alive, like in the third act, and I was like, okay, cool. All right, let's embrace the comedy, and we're over. If the movie embraced the bonkers stupidity of its premise, then it would have been fine. It's the seventh Bring It On movie in a series that really shouldn't have gone past the second or third movie. First one being the best. I can understand doing a couple sequels, but come on. The last one was like 2017. Yes, they've actually managed to do more of these, and they're all really painfully generic after, again, like the second one. And the soundtrack's terrible. I don't know who the hell put any thought into this movie. I don't know how much thought they put into how these scenes were laid out, or the fact that every single scene, every single sequence seems like it's taking place in a vacuum, in a different town, possibly on a different continent, maybe on a different plane of existence, in a different dimension, far out there, and maybe they're making better movies out in that dimension. This is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Also, the reveal of who the killers are and everything, they try to make that comedic, and it could have been, but it was pretty obvious where they were going with it. I mean, you don't really need predictability, you just need fun with a movie like this called Bring It On, Cheer or Die. They don't even manage to tap into the fun part. I don't know who the audience is for this. Maybe somebody that has never been out of their goddamn house. I don't know. Nevertheless, we're going to get into spoilers here. By we, I mean me. Spoilers don't matter. Whatever. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay. So, the principal is very domineering, and it turns out that the principal was the twin sister of the girl that died. So she had two twin girls, two black girls, Paige and Evie, and she raised them to be psycho killers, psychotronic, da 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 da. You're gonna cheer or die. Okay, that was terrible. Did it much better than the scariest 61st. And she trained them, and they're doing the killing, and people get killed in hilarious ways. One gets killed via a rope and being smothered by pom-poms, like in cheerleader camp. Another one gets the blood pressure thing that doctors use around her neck. Then they just do this until she dies. And then another one gets caught in a bear trap in a bathroom stall, and then shoved into a toilet, and then beaten to death with a toilet bowl seat or a toilet bowl lid. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Another guy who's really, really high gets hit in the head with an axe and killed, and it looks like he's making out with the door. Also, one girl breaks her ankle or rolls her ankle, yet is fine by the end of the movie. Apparently rolled ankles heal up through the miracle of movie magic. So yes, two girls doing the killing. One gets killed in this little foray area, then they get up onto the roof, and then this one other girl's like, you killed my sister, prepare to die. Then they get back to the bus that took them there. The bus driver has been killed. He's all high, but then gets killed by an arrow. Because time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. This movie had a lot of fruit flies around it, would explain the stink. And then they run over, they just run over the other girl, and then that's it. And then cheer competition happens. They win the cheer competition, and they're doing it to honor the people that died. Bunch of people died, but that's okay. Cheer a year later. Hooray! And they hinted at a sequel because the principal's still alive. But maybe not the principal anymore. It's hard to tell. Did she face any criminal charges? Did anybody figure this shit out? These are questions that need to be asked. They did a sequel. Hook! Why? Why do we need an 8th Bring It On movie? Why do we need this? Why do we need anything after the 2nd or 3rd movie? These are important questions to ask. And I'm putting too much thought into it. More thought than the filmmakers put into this. Yeah, F. It gets an F. There is one point where they attack. They try to get back at the killers by doing cheer routine stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's entertaining. And they immediately dissolve from that. They just go away from that. Like, but that was fun. Oh, wait, you can't have any fun in a movie called Bring It On, Cheer or Die. Yeah, F. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.